Okay. Welcome to EasyAlpha, the podcast where we get into the real mechanics of building and growing Web3 communities. My name is Jaden, founder of CoinEasy. We are a Korean Web3 go-to-market agency. We help global club Web3 companies and DeFi, many other companies break into Korea market through community and contents and keyword campaigns and etc. Today we are covering something both Sarah and I deal with every single day, and I'm excited to get into it. Sarah, great to have you on. Introduce yourself, please.
Jaden, thank you so much. And hi, everybody. I'm Sarah. I'm founder of Aartoo. And just a bit about Aartoo. So, Aartoo is a community intelligence platform. And basically, what we do is we help Web3 teams manage Discord, Telegram, Reddit, and X, their moderators burning out. And so, I'm really excited to be here and on EasyAlpha. So thank you so much, Jaden. I know we've been talking about this for a while, so let's get into it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Today's topic, how Web3 community teams operate at scale with AI in 2026. The problem is really real, and more platforms, higher contents and demands, same team size. Both Sarah and I are in the trenches with this daily. So we are going to keep this practical, real tools and real workflow, real trade-off. Let's go. So Sarah, the first question is, when you talk to Web3 community teams right now, what's the number one thing you keep hearing?
Yeah, honestly, Jaden, it's the same every time. We're drowning. Discord mods are burning out. Telegram, Discord, it's chaos. It's just chaos. There's so much noise. And X posting schedules, they're half maintained at best. And you've got product asking for community feedback loops, if they are. So sometimes they're asking for it and sometimes they're not even, but trying to pull that together, people don't have time. And so, in 2026, you've got teams who are still copy pasting announcements and manually posting, manually scrolling through and reading threads, and volume has tripled, but headcount hasn't.
Yeah, I really feel that since we do like Korea go to market and there are a lot of committees and there's just so many messages and the committee members asking so many questions in general. So I really feel that it's like a really a lot going on. So yeah, I really agree with that. And I want to talk about like AI in Discord and Telegram. So what's the highest impact use of AI in those environments right now?
So I would say that there are three things that consistently move the needle. So the first one is context-aware moderation. So not just keyword bans, but AI that understands intent, and I think this is so important. So when Moon is fine, but coordinated FUD is not, and good AI can tell the difference between those. Second is FAQ deflection. So a lot of communities, as you'll know, Jaden, have the same questions repeating, 20 times every week.
Yeah.
And AI can handle those instantly, and not only instantly, but 24/7. So actually just when you're asleep, just being able to handle those questions, which is super important for onboarding as well, like a critical moment for new people coming in, but also in the right language. So actually being able to understand and answer people across different languages, which is so important to global projects, is another thing. And then I would say third is around sentiment tracking. So, instead of a mod reading every single message and hoping to catch the brewing problems, AI can surface that thread. They can say, this is heating up. You need to do something about it before it blows up into a PR issue. And again, to the point of languages, us being able to track and understand sentiment shifts and changes or narrative shifts and changes in multiple languages, again, is just really powerful.
1000%. Web3 community in general, they don't sleep. So there are so many questions. And even do people try to do like a ticket service. Like for example, like Discord, you can like write on ticket and there's so many piling up and users just waiting for ages. So I think that the R2 really helps community to actually like answer the question right away and know what's the value message and everything. So I think it's really amazing tools that we already using it. So we see
Yeah.
a lot of benefits for our community, and actually our community members really love it. So yeah, we see that a lot of beneficiaries using R2.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you. Yeah. For teams just starting with AI in their community operations, where would you tell them to begin?
Yeah, great question. I would say start with FAQ automation. It's absolutely the fastest win. It's very minimal risk and immediately visible to the community in a positive way. It's like fast answers, 24/7, different languages, like we've talked about. And then I would say from there, you can layer in moderation assistance. So letting AI flag, but humans deciding. And I would say it's really important, and I think this is, I know how much you agree with this, but
Yeah.
don't start with content generation. Like, it's so key, because that's where you can lose authenticity really fast if you're not careful.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel that like, even though you can bring like a best technology as a company and etc., but without community engagement and like real connection, you can also lose your like connection with the community. And also they could just like the technology, but there are a lot of companies actually engaging with the team, committees, and even when you go to like Instagram, for example, like the Red Bulls and big companies are actually like reply to the users' contents in general, like engaging and things like that. So it's really important to have that the mindset as a company, because sometimes we just
100%.
forget, just build, that's it. People will just eventually like us, right?
Yeah, it's so true. I totally agree.
Yeah. So before we move on, I know R2 just shipped something new. There's been a lot of buzz in the operator committee. You want to give people a quick look?
Yeah, so thank you so much. So we've just launched something called Pulse. And essentially, I'm so excited about this, because the problem that we kept seeing was teams using AI for moderation, for FAQ handling, which is fantastic, right? We've talked about that. But actually, really being able to understand what's happening in their community, what to prioritize, and what to do about the data, right? So this is something, Jaden, that you and I have spoken about. It's all very well and good having dashboards and having all of this data and information, but knowing what to do, the actions to take, and knowing how to prioritize that is still really hard for a lot of projects, because you're, again, back to this point of trying to understand what's happening across all these different channels. And so Pulse solves this. So it's effectively community intelligence that's running across all your different channels all of the time. And it goes across Reddit, Discord, Telegram, X, and we're also, we've got YouTube we can feed, and there's so much else that we can bring into this. And it surfaces to community managers, to operators, surfaces what's shifting, what matters, and what needs attention. So it's telling you, this is critical, and you get these pulses every single day. This is critical. This is what's shifted. You read it in 90 seconds. So it's not a weekly report. It's not, so much information you can't read it. It's not another dashboard. It's a pulse of what you need to know. And you can have it when you wake up, like really getting to the point. So I'm really excited to talk about that with you, and also for you to be using it soon as well.
Yeah, really excited, since we cannot check every single platform, which is really hard. Like running the companies and like even community managers, they're like super overwhelmed in general every single day. So many things going on, new news, new products, new features, and etc. and so on. So yeah, it is really, really helpful daily. You know exactly what's going on your community, and also like you see when something happened, you know right away. And sometimes as a go-to-market clients asking you like question, oh, what's going on in the community, and then you exactly what is going on and update them, and then make a better strategy for go to market. I think we are super excited to use R2 and Pulse. We're near future. And how does Pulse like actually surface this, or like what does the workflow look like day to day? I just want to know, and also really excited to use it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so there's 3 layers to it, really. So the first one is you get a daily pulse across all your different channels. So you wake up to a pulse message. It can be in your Telegram, it can be delivered to you in your email, in your WhatsApp, wherever you want it. And it's color coded and it's real time. So you've kind of got this sense check of what's happened over the past 24 hours. We use a traffic light system, green, amber, red, to really bring to your attention, you know, what's on fire, what needs to be prioritized, what's going well, where's an opportunity. And it's a 90-second summary of what's happening that you can just wake up to. You know how to prioritize your day. So that's one of the first things. Second to this, we have auto tagging of topic clusters. So it automatically groups conversations by themes. So you can see, for example, you know, bridge UX frustration spiked 40% today without having to go in and read the messages. And we also give evidence links. So you can go straight to the specific points that are being raised in whatever platform, but we've summarized it all for you and brought it to you. And then the third one is, as well as kind of what's happening across your community and what needs attention, we also bring in competitor information and data and also market opportunities. So we're flagging to you and bringing to your attention competitor moves or conversations that you should be getting involved in, which could be your conversations to grow your community or conversations where, you know, they're just very relevant to you. So get involved in this thread in Reddit, for example, or go and get involved in this conversation in X. So that's really how it works.
Wow, I love that. Since the Korea community and market moves really fast, including like Web3, like even like TradFi these days, AI, many other things. So it's great to know that we can also compare with other competitors as projects. So we know exactly what we need to do and like what we need to prepare and like take also action items. I think that's really important because so many like data companies, they only show the data and there's no like action item. So
Exactly.
yeah, there's no like features. I think this is really amazing feature for us.
Thanks, Jaden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Just want to know, like, is it already like working and also other projects using it? So just curious.
Yeah, so we've got projects using it. And actually, one of the things, like the reason that we've created it and separated it out is because we had some of our customers, we have like, there's a section within Aartoo which is called Pulse. And so, for example, Joey at Fogo, so Fogo, you know, they get 90,000 messages a day, like 90,000 messages a day just in their Discord, right, Fogo? And so one of the things that Joey said, who runs the community there, he was like, he goes into Aartoo every single day and goes straight to the Pulse, which we had this kind of Pulse within the platform. And so I thought about that and I was like, hang on a minute, if he's going here every single day, that's super useful information. Why don't we pull it out of the platform and bring in all these other signals and make it super useful? So to answer your question, yes, people are using it already. It's live. I can share, I've got kind of information I can share whenever you want me to, but also we've built this as a separate product because of our customers telling us how much they want this. You know, our vision really in the long term is that community managers can, you know, start being these strategic operators. And we feel like this is a stepping stone towards helping them do that, helping them prioritize their time and just, you know, have the ability to turn data into action. So yeah, it's available right now for teams. Feedback is really strong. And one team, for example, told us that they caught a coordinated bot attack 18 minutes after it started because of Aartoo. So before Pulse, that would have taken hours. So we're live, we're using it, and people are getting a lot of benefit from it already.
Wow. Yeah, I'd love to know more about later, like with the CTA.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear more about it. I think it's really amazing tools that everyone can use it as builders and users and founders and projects. So yeah, super excited from our side as well.
Thanks, Jaden.
Yeah, we just wanna like know like contents at scale. Wanna talk about contents in general. Maintaining like quality like across multiple platform at volume. How does a small team actually pull that off?
Yeah, really good question. So I think the unlock is separating content strategy from content production. So strategy is, what to say, when, why, to whom, and that still requires human judgment. That's still, it's brand voice, it's market awareness, it's community temperature. Like, that's essential. Whereas production, you have drafting of content, you've got formatting and scheduling, and adapting that for the relevant platform, depending on where you're sharing it. And this is where AI can take 70 to 80% of the load genuinely. And I really think that the best teams in 2026 this is what they look like. The human sets the brief, the AI drafts it, humans review it, AI schedules it and adapts per platform. And so there's 4 steps just there, to a human, to an AI, and that balance is the sweet spot right now, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, 100%. From the Korean specific angle, localization is really important, and it goes beyond the translation in general. You need a cultural context, and you need really understand the people's behavior in general. So for example, Korea prefer Telegram than X in general.
Yeah.
So the culture preference is really different, and format also really different. So it's really important to understand the culture wise, and it's also our workflow is AI draft and Korean editor. We have Korean editors review that and then publish it. So the middle step is non-negotiable for us. It's really important. So yeah, just wanna ask you, what about consistency? One of the risk I see is that AI assistant content starts to sound the same across every project. I think, I just want to ask.
Yeah, I've seen this as well, and I think it's so important. And it kind of, it's to that earlier point about authenticity and connection with people, because community is all about that connection, right? So it's a real risk. And I think it comes from lazy prompting and also not considering where AI should be playing a role, for example, and not kind of giving enough context. So the fix is really, from my view, investing up front in your brand voice document. So how does your project actually speak? What are the goals? What are you, what phrases do you use? What does it never say? We have at Aartoo, we've got a brand document and it is pages and pages and pages and pages long. And every time an output comes up that we're not expecting or that just needs tweaking slightly, we feed it in to make sure it's getting richer and richer in our personality. So it's really important to feed that into every AI draft, because your output will immediately differentiate. So you can still get the benefits, but you're investing in context and kind of brand specific information. And I think the projects that skip that step, honestly, are the ones that just end up sounding like every other protocol. And how is that going to connect with people and connect with the humans that you want to be part of your community?
True, like some words we don't usually in person. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you see the X post, there's some account reply automatically right away. I was like, oh, I he doesn't talk like that in person. I was like, interesting. Yeah, so it was really interesting moment. People automate too much and then seems like a robot, but but it's as long as he reply, I think it's fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And from projects, team wants community feedback in general, and but extracting meaningful insight from the noise is genuinely hard. How does AI help here?
Yeah, great question, Jaden. And this is the area that I personally care about so much and is what's behind Aartoo. And I honestly think that this is where AI can create so much underrated value, especially for product teams, as well as community teams. So, picture your Discord, you've got 500 messages a day, for example. No human is reading all of this, scrolling through all of this. They're definitely not clustering it into themes and thinking about products, your the next product roadmap meeting and how some of this could feed in. But there's gold in there, as you and I both know. There are absolutely amazing nuggets of insight and information and intelligence from your community and your product team and the founders, and everybody should want to hear that and have it surface. But it's so hard, if not impossible. And so AI can do that in minutes. AI can tell you that users are confused about the X feature, there's growing frustration about Y, 7 people independently have asked for this. That's your product insight briefing just there. And we can sift through all this noise and bring the signals to the team, and it can be in minutes. And being able to have that every week, I think one of the key differentiators for me moving forwards is going to be the teams that can really utilize that to inform their decision making, because there is so much value sitting there. It's just not being heard.
100%. There are a lot of committee members, like OG members, that are sharing like really valuable information for newbies, new committee members in the committee. So it's really great to see them, and there's so many great value in the committee, not just GM, GN.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also like deliver this as a weekly community snapshot report to our clients using Aartoo. So a lot of community members really love it, and they also get incentivized Aartoo that when they deliver the right information and valuable message, etc. So they really like it, rather than just they get airdrop randomly and they just kind of abuse the committee get the airdrop. So we saw that many times. So Aartoo is a great tool, actually encourage people to engage in each other and actually sharing real value. So we see that often.
Yeah, thanks, Jaden.
For the project teams wanting to build this, what's the simplest version to start with?
Yeah, I would say, take the last 7 days of your most active channel and run it through a well-prompted AI. And just ask it, what are the top 5 themes that it can see from that time period? What's the overall sentiment? And what are the 3 most asked questions, for example, that are coming up? Like, that's your V1 community report. That's just a baseline. There's no infrastructure needed there. You can start there, and then you can start automating once you've seen the value. So that's a really easy starting point.
Oh yeah, thank you for the information. Yeah, we also talking to Lar to what's the next step, or the valuable guideline. So it's really helpful to build, even though we start the new projects, and really helpful to actually how to engage the community and get the information. We have talked a lot about AI, but keeping the community feeling human is critical. How do you strike that balance?
Yeah, I mean, this is the question, isn't it? I think the principle that I always come back to is that AI handles volume, whereas humans handle moments. And so, when a community member says, this project helped me through a really tough time, that needs a human response, a real one. Or when someone's asking, what's the staking APY, then AI handles it. There's a very clear differentiation there between what the community members are actually asking for, but in terms of what can have an AI response versus what really needs a human response. And I think the mistake some teams make is about automating everything and then wondering why engagement drops. But you don't have that connection. And like I've said, it's humans need to be involved in those moments. It should be about the human to human connection. And by splitting out so much of this admin time and filtering time and letting the AI do that, then hopefully the team has so much more time to really focus on those moments, on creating moments and connecting with humans. And so I think it's really important to be explicit about it and really define internally, these are the categories, these are the types of interactions that are always human, and everything else AI can assist with. And I actually went to a event. I was mentioning it to you earlier, Jaden. I went to an event last night, and it was talking about exactly this point. It was talking about really thinking through more generally, but like what should always be human versus what can be AI, and really having a think about consequences and unintended consequences, and making those decisions so that the team is both clear but also consistent, and different moderators and community managers aren't doing different things. So having that conversation, knowing where your lines are, and being really clear about where humans can add the most value and should be adding the most value is really important, I think.
1000%. Basically, authenticity first, always. Otherwise, you lose the connection in general. Like basically, your AI agent just talking each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we are going to be like that in the future, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I really agree with you. Everything you said, the human connection is so important, and the R2 is a great tool to be part of it. So we can focus on that, and some other like numbers and stuff. AI can handle it. So I think we see like a future with R2 and other projects. So yeah, it's really great to hear from your insight and your real life experience. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, let's bring it home for takeaway from today. So first, AI in Discord and Telegram reduce noise and less human modes, focus on what actually matters, and start with FAQ automation. And second, content at scale works when humans own strategy and review. AI owns drafting and scheduling. Hybrid is the answer. And third, weekly community snapshots close the loop between community and product. This is underused and extremely high value. And fourth, define which moments are always human, those, and that's where loyalty lives. So yeah.
100%, really well said. I totally agree. Yeah, and if you want to see Aartoo and specifically Pulse, then you can go to aartoo.com/pulse. Should I show a couple of slides?
Yeah.
Is now a good time?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay, bear with me whilst I try and do it. Okay, let me go here. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Fab. And so, yeah, as I mentioned, Pulse is live, and we've integrated now. We've got Reddit, we've got YouTube, Discourse, Telegram, Discord, and X. And this is really your briefing, as I've said, about what changed, what matters, and where to go first. And right now, if you want to have a look at it, check it out, you can go to aartoo.com/pulse. As I mentioned, it's $49 a month to get this briefing every single day. And there's a 5-day free trial, but also because of ECC, which is next week, which Jaden and I are going to be at together, which I'm really looking forward to, Jaden. So we've got a code here as well for 50% off the first month. So the code is at the bottom, ECC 2026. So yeah, I'd love it for you to go and check it out. It's genuinely making a difference to the projects that are using it. And all I want to do is be as helpful as possible to community teams. So yeah, that's a bit more about us.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation and the code. We're also really excited to use it every day. So you can actually see what's going on in the community and like have an action item as well. So that's a really valuable. So yeah, thank you for joining the EasyAlpha today. And Sarah, this was a genuinely great conversation. So thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you, Jaden. I love what you do. I love CoinEasy. I think the work is so impactful that you do for your communities. And I'm so grateful to have this conversation with you today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and see you in ECC. And yeah, really excited.
See that.